Hello everybody, we're going to start another series of Subnautica modeling and texturing, and in this video I came across this which is the species or specimen analyzer, and I just thought it was so cool and something that is reasonable for us to do. And so this is what I'm going to be modeling. I'll try to get through most of the modeling in this video. Some of this is textures and stuff like that, so you can see the emission there and the holes there, and obviously the coloring and stuff. And I won't do the sand and the plants. I might do the sand in this video, we'll see, but we'll try to get through it. So when we look at this, we need to sort of analyze the shapes that we're going to need, and some of these are fine, although mine may not end up looking exactly like this, but this one in particular is the one we're going to have to focus on. And then we got the globe and these other parts. So what I create won't be exactly the same, but it's inspired by that. All right, so here we are. I should have my screencast keys on, and I'm just going to start by pressing Shift-A, Mesh. I'm going to use a UV sphere. I'm going to use the default values there, and I'm going to go Control-2. Probably do that. And I want to, if I look at it from the front, I want this facing me, the end there. So I'm going to rotate X90, and I'm going to S2, just make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, and I'll shade smooth that. So this is what we have. I'm not going to worry about the little stretching there. We're not going to see that, although there are ways to fix that. All right, so to create this, I'm going to go into edit mode and 7 to look down from the top. Actually, I think to make it easier, what we'll do is we'll rotate X90. We'll just leave it like that for this part. All right, so 3 for face selection, C for paint select, and I'm just going to start selecting a bunch of this stuff here along the top. You'll see what I get. I'm going out from the middle point. I'll do the back side as well, but we will likely put a mirror on. I think I'm going to come out one more. We'll see about that. Come down to there, and let's just have a look. I think I'm going to come all the way to here for that part, and all the way to here for that part. So we've got that selected. I'm going to Shift-D to duplicate, pull it out, and P to break it out. So I'm going to hide that, and this is the piece we're going to work on. And I think to make it easier, we're going to mirror this. So I'm going to go into wireframe and 1 for vertex selection, and we're going to box select all of this stuff on the side and get rid of that. Anything I miss, get rid of that. So I can take this and I can add a mirror. Okay, and I'm going to turn on clipping. I'm going to bring that up, and I'm also going to get rid of the bottom and just mirror that way. Okay, so we can just work on this top part and it'll mirror it. And what I want to do is just change the shape of this a little bit. So I'm going to select that vertex, and I'm going to press GG, and that will edge slide it, and it'll slide along its edge. And I won't really change the shape. Let's try this one, GG, and just see if I pull that down. Now I've got the 2 of them, right? Let's take that point now and GG. And we're just sort of flattening out this front part here and just shaping it into what we want. Something like that is probably okay. I mean, you can spend as much time as you want trying to fix up that shape. I think that will probably work for us. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to go ahead and apply the mirror, and I'll come in and I'm just going to merge by distance just in case. And I think we're okay, and let's just double check the face orientation of everybody. Yeah, everybody's playing nice. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give this some thickness. Now you could use solidify. I'm just going to press E and Alt S and push. And whatever I get, I'm going to be stuck with. So I don't want it too thick, and I don't want it too thin. Something like that. Control R, drag an edge loop up near the top, and Control R, drag an edge loop near the bottom. And that's probably the shape that I'm going to go with, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so press 1 and look from the back, 3 for face selection, C for paint select, and I'm going to select those, hit escape, and then I'm going to Control plus 2 times. I think that's how much I'm going to use. Let's try this and see if I went out too far. I'm going to press I to inset, pull it in a little bit, and then I'm going to use loop tools. And I'm not sure where loop tools is in the new version, if it's still under the right click, if you have it installed. I'm going to select circle. I'm going to S to scale it a bit, and then I'm going to pull out a little bit so we get this kind of, gradual kind of thing here. All right, I'm going to press E to extrude and gesture out and scale down a little bit. And I can just, let's straighten it, SY0, but I'm going to be getting rid of it anyhow, X faces. And I'm going to Control R, drag an edge through just a little bit. I don't want it too sharp, something like that. And that's my clampy thing that's going to hold the globe. So let's bring that back. All right, let's look from the side, and let's take that and sort of pull it over. But now that I've done that piece there, I'm going to have another look at my globe. I think I will rotate in 90, so the pole is like that. Okay, and then you just play around with this. You push it in as far as you want. But right now, I'm not really too worried about that. I will leave it right about there. I'm going to hide that because we're going to come in here now. And I'm going to shut off the subdivision for the moment. Control 1 to look from this side here. And 3 for face selection, C, and I want this, select that, Control plus, I'm just going to come out to there. I'm going to do the same kind of thing, I'd inset a little bit, loop tool circle, scale it in a little bit. Now, let's just go back to the drawing for a second, or the diagram. What we need is I need a region for this, and I feel like it's indented a little bit, and I can do it all in texture, but I'm going to do some in geometry and some in texture. So I'm going to create this section, and then basically a hole with a separate circular piece. So let's see here. I'm going to press, I think I'll do E and S and come in. That's going to be the area that I put the emission. So I'm going to go E and S again. That's the gray area, so let's look at that. I got one area for the emission. Let's just see how far out that comes. Well, it may not come as far out as the diagram, but meaning out to this area here. That's fine. So we got the emission, the gray area, and then the hole. And I'm just going to press, let's see. I think I'll just go back at this point. I'm just going to extrude backwards. X faces, just get rid of those. And I'm going to, in face selection, Shift Alt and click here. And I'm going to press I to inset, hold Shift, pull in just a little bit. I just want a supporting edge. And I'm going to extrude this back. I'll still put an emission on there. Let's just have a look with subdivision. All right, I'll still put an emission on there, but I just want it sunk in a little bit more. And I know in Substance Painter you could use height, but sometimes I just want geometry. So that actually looks pretty good. The only thing I would want to do maybe is drop an edge loop in here to sharpen that up. And yeah, there will be a subdivision surface on this, so it's not really low poly or anything, but hopefully it's going to look nice. Okay, I'm going to now select just a circle. Any circle will do. Shift D to duplicate, scale it down a bit. I'm going to push it in. I'm going to break it out, P to break it out. And then I'm going to take that, I don't need the subdivision on it. Select it, F to make a face. S to scale so that it goes in like that. Let's just see if it's facing the right way. So I'm going to take that, Alt-N, not on it, Alt-N and flip. Now it's blue. That will be a separate piece that I will be able to isolate in Substance Painter and put those holes on it. So I'm going to push that back a little bit more. Okay, back to the reference. This I'm going to do in Substance Painter. Okay, the little rectangles. This I'm going to do in Substance Painter as well. So that's it for this gray part of that, and sort of extending back a little bit. Let's work now on this and this stuff here. Okay, so I'm going to Alt-H and bring that back. And I'm just going to push that in a little bit. Now, one thing we can do is we can come over here and scroll down to Viewport Display and switch Display As to Wire, and then we can see through it. And eventually I will want this out in front a little bit, And it's just the way that it is, whether how it seems like it's going to fit. I mean, if you look right on the side, it might look like there's a little bit of a gap. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm going to switch that back actually to textured. All right, so I'm just going to push it in a little bit more. And I'm going to leave it probably about there. Okay. I'm going to look from the side and press 2 for edge selection and Shift-Alt and click that edge and the other one. So I have an edge going all the way around. Shift-D to duplicate, P to break it out. Go back into object mode. Take the globe itself and hide it. So now I have this piece here. I'm going to go into edit mode and I'm going to get rid of the subdivision. I might end up using one. And I want this to attach to this piece. So I'm going to press S to scale, hold Shift, pull out till the vertex. The vertices are kind of going into that. Sort of like this piece. You can't really tell, but I assume it's attaching to the wall of that. So we'll have that, and we'll have to get rid of some of it at the back. We can do it now or later. I think I'll do it later. Look from the side, and there's my center point. So I'm just going to pull it down to maybe about there. E to extrude, and I'm going to pull it about equal distance up, like that. And it still looks like it attaches here. Okay. Now I'm going to come in and let's hide that circle. Come in here, and I'm going to select these 2 vertices. Make sure I'm not selecting anything else. And I'm going to press Control plus and then X vertices, and just make sure that this still goes in, but we don't see it in the hole. And it's going to be blocked anyhow the more I think about it. Oh, let's hide that by this. So I suppose that didn't even really matter, but whatever. I think I want to make this scale it in the Z a little bit taller, like that, because there's a few things going on this. As you can see, there's an indentation. Now, again, I could do that in texture, but I'm going to do it in geometry. So I'm going to create so that it dips in a little bit, and then these parts bulge out. But first of all, I'm going to give it some thickness, but let's just make sure all the faces, you see the way this is like that? So I'm going to, let's see, can I just recalculate like that? There, all the blue faces are facing out and all the red are facing in, and that's what we want. Okay, so I'm going to use E and Alt-S again. E, Alt-S, and pull. Make it come in. The only thing I'm looking at, and I may need to change this, is that it doesn't go past the wall. I suppose it doesn't matter that much. Now we could take this and try to just scale it out a bit more like that. That looks probably fine. Okay, 2 for edge selection, Control R to drop an edge loop there, Control B and hold Shift and pull, so you only have 2 edges, one going up, one going down, and all the vertical edges, of course. Something like that. And then E, Alt-S, and pull makes it come out, so push to make it come in. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that I'm getting it on the inside as well, and I don't want that. So I'm going to back up and let's see, I'll come back to this. Nah, not even going to come back to that point. I'm going to dissolve that edge. Let's focus just on that with the slash key and come over here. And let's get rid of these faces. Press 3 for face selection, get rid of this, and then whatever we do on the outside won't be reflected on the inside. For example, I'm going to drop an edge loop. It's only on the outside, not on the inside. We don't need extra geometry, even if we're not going to see it. Control B to split it, something like that, and then E, Alt-S, and push it in just a little ways like that. Now that has created more faces. We need to get rid of that face. And we need to get rid of that face. And then we need to do some beveling to smooth this up. 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click that one, and that one. This one, and the bottom one. Zoom in so you can see this, Control B, pull, and I'm going to put 3 edges there. Make it nice and smooth. The only other thing I would like to do, because I'm going to shade smooth, and this part here is going to be a little discolored, so I'm going to drop one more edge loop in there, Control B and pull, but I only want 2. I'm going to pull it up, and just to about there. And I think right away I'm going to Shift Alt and click that edge, and I'm going to mark seam, because we'll be using that in Substance Painter. to help us. Okay, let's double check this now. All right, we're going to need to flip it, Alt-N, recalculate outside. It looked a little discolored to me. Slash key to bring that stuff back. And I mean, it's going to look better if you do Control-1, add one subdivision. I may or may not keep that. And then from there with the subdivision, it shrinks it a bit, so you can always take this and just go S to scale and pull it till you feel it's in the middle of this. I'll bring back the globe, and if it doesn't fully fit around the globe, don't worry about it, because the idea is supposed to be that this stuff holds the globe, anyhow, and there's a little device that can go around this as it analyzes whatever species are inside. All right, so it looks like this is adhering to it, but if you look carefully at this, there's a little piece that goes under, and I guess this can go around as it analyzes that. It looks almost like there's a little bit of a light coming off there, and this weird shaped antenna thing or whatever that is. Now, so this seems to come out and it dips down again. I'm not sure I'm going to do that exactly. I can't quite see what this does, and so I think this is an okay design. However, the more I look at it, it makes me want to change some stuff. I feel like it's too tight, so I'm just going to press GG and just bring that in a little bit, and this one GG and bring it down a little bit, and see if I can get it a little bit more rounded. I'm going to do the same down here. In fact, I'm just going to focus on that. It's just a little personal thing. I might even want to make those a bit bigger, so take this one GG. And I'm just holding shift and I'm pulling that way. And this one, GG, and I'm pulling sort of inwards, just to round it out a little bit more. Turn that off for a moment. I might want to make it larger. So I'm going to select that edge. I'm holding shift and control all these top edges. And maybe I'll grab all these bottom edges if I can figure out which ones they are. 3, 4, I think. Let's try that and see if I SZ, if I'm just splitting it. In which case I might take this one and GZ, bring it up a little bit more, and this one GZ and bring it down a little more. I just wanted a little bit more of that. I'm going to bring back everything. Okay, and I'll put that back on, and that'll contract it a little anyhow. All right, anyways, you can futz around with that for forever if you wanted. We'll see if this thing bothers us or not afterwards. Okay. Okay, so looking from, what is Control-1, front of this thing, I'm going to select that edge there, Shift-S, cursor to select it, bring my cursor there, and Shift-A, mesh. Plane, you can start with a plane, you can start with a cube. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to rotate X 90. And here I'm going to differ a little bit from the diagram because I can't fully see it. I can't see it from other angles. So I'm just going to do what I can for this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to scale in the X a little bit, and I'm going to scale in the Z, and just try to feel out what I want this to be like. I'll start with that. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to extrude in something like that. And then I'm going to drag an edge loop up to here. Take this, extrude in just a little bit. Let's see. Just a little bit like that, and then extrude in a bit more. And then if I can get to that bottom face without having to isolate it. There we go. Take that, I'm just going to extrude that down like that, so it wraps over. Now I can take this whole thing and scale it in the X a little bit. Although there's a lot going on here, I need enough room for this piece and these bars and to have this thing in the middle. So I might leave it something like that. So let's just, you can't really see what's going on. Let's just, okay, yeah. I need to move some stuff back, don't I? Okay. So let's do that. Let's see if I take that and I take all of this Let's see if I got everything I need. There, now that goes in, so now I can take this and this, and I can push it in, make it a little bit narrower. And it doesn't really matter how far down it goes. Okay, so let's work with that. So let's slash key and focus on that. That's just basically what it is there. Okay, so I want to give this some rounding, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to select this vertex and this one and J to join it. And then this, which one did I do? From there to there, J to join it. And now Shift Alt and click this edge and this edge. X, dissolve edges. And now I've got this thing here that I can bevel, you know, like this. I put 5 in there, whatever, you know, and I can get this shape. So I won't do that yet. And then I'm going to do the same over here. This edge, or that vertex and that one, J. That one and that one, J. And I can select that, Shift Alt and click, dissolve edges, and I have the same thing here and here. Whether I want the exact same bevel on them, I'm not sure. I kind of want this one beveled more. I'm not saying that's how it is in the real thing, but I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to do this. And I am using 5, so it becomes a lot of polys, but you know, I just want it to look like that. And next I'm going to take this edge, and I'm going to bevel those up, and I am going to use 5. Round it like that. And then in edge selection, I'm going to try to go all the way around this guy. So I could do these ones. I probably should, even though you're not going to see it, but it'll just make it flow a bit better. So just do something there. In fact, that could be 3. All right, back to this. And just make sure you get everything. Shift Alt and click, and reposition. Let's look at like I've got all of the outside. So Control B, and I may go back to 5 or 3 is probably okay. You know, to do that kind of a thing. And it's, you know, I could do that on the inside one as well. Maybe I will. Just go all the way around. Just bevel the whole thing. What the hell? Okay, that. Control B. Alright, so that's what we get. Now if I shade smooth, it's probably going to need weighted normal and normal's auto smooth. Alright, doesn't look too bad. Hope, you know, there might be a tiny bit of shading issues, but it's not bad. Slash key, let's just have a look at that. Alright, just catches light, okay. Alright, so we'll leave it like that for now. So let's now do something. Let's grab this edge. It's nice and straight. Shift D, pull it up, out a bit. P to break it out. No, this. And I'm going to have this. Let's just see what we need. I'm going to do this thing. Alright, and it comes, I'm going to come probably a little bit above the top. So I need to make it narrower because I need bars on each side. Let's just go ahead and extrude it down and scale it like that. How far down does it go? It goes down pretty far. So I'm going to do it like that, or something like that. And I think I will take this up a bit and then take the whole thing and extrude it back in like this. And just make sure I got room for a bar there, a bar there. Okay, that looks all right, like that. And then we're going to do the same kind of thing, but it might be flipped, so I'm just going to do that. So let's just focus on that now, and I'm going to select in edge selection this edge and this edge. Just go ahead and bevel that. 3 is probably fine. And let's see. This, we'll do this one and this one. Yeah, just simple. And then the top. And because part of it's going to show, I'm going to do the back as well. Now the shading is a little bit better. Let's just look at that. Okay, because this part's, you know, potentially going to show. So we'll do that. Might have to make it a bit narrower. We'll see. I can put a few details in Substance Painter on there. So let's just move on. So I'm going to bring my 3D cursor to that. And now I'm going to bring in a cylinder. And I'll go for something like 22 vertices. And I can leave that, although it won't matter. I'll be getting rid of it in a bit, as you'll see. I'm going to bring this up. And I'm going to rotate Y 90. And I'm going to look from the side. And I'm going to chop off the front half. Maybe I should have used a different number of vertices. That's probably okay though. I'm going to box select there. And extrude like this. Just not quite hit the globe, and F to make a face. So here's what I have. Right, it's open now. Shift Alt and click there and there, F to make a face, and I might scale it down a bit. And what I'm making is something like this. You see it's a bit rounded, but it's not going to end up being the same, not really. And I need room for the bars beside it. So yeah, I'm going to do this. And what I'll do is just wondering if I need that edge or not. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to select here and Control B to bevel, and I'll just use 3. I'll see if I can scale it out a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to drop an edge loop in the middle and Control B and roll back to 2. So I have this. I may come out that far. I'm then going to press E and Alt S and push and bring it out for a bit of a design element. This whole thing could probably go forward. Okay, now Shift Alt and click there. Let's isolate that. And there, that's very sharp, so we'll round that. Control B with there's 2, 3 is fine. And Shift Alt and click this edge going around and this edge going all the way around. Bevel that. I mean, it would look nicer with 5, but I'm going to shade smooth it anyhow. And now I need to, should I bring in 2 or 3? I'm going to select those, and I'll just use 3. That is 3, right? There's 2, 3, and that'll help. Okay, and that's the structure we're getting. Recalculate outside. And I'm going to also bring in a cylinder, but this one I'm going to just make 16 and nothing. We'll make a little bar inside there that goes through. So I'm going to rotate Y 90 and then scale in the X till it pokes through. And I'm sure it's going to need to be thinner than that and positioned. So I'm going to scale Shift X, not in the X. Just make it narrower. And that's all I'll do for now. I'll come back to that in a moment, because that's going to attach to the bars, and I will definitely have to make that shorter anyhow. So we'll just see. Okay, so let's make the antenna-like thing here, and then I'll come back to this thing. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to come into the sphere, look down from the top, I guess. 2 for edge selection. I just want to select that right there. That's what I want. So I'm going to Shift D to duplicate, pull it out, P to break it out, and then I'm just going to look from the side and in edit mode and wireframe, and I can get rid of the subdivision for the time being now. That's wireframe. And I'm going to box select up to, it's hard to say if I want that much, X vertices. I'm going to bring this in and up, or if I want to get rid of one more. I think I need one more. I'm going to do it. And I'll have this. And I might take this vertex and just straighten it out so it just comes down straight. As you can see, this bar is not in the right position, but this is the general idea. And then take this and slide it over to its spot roughly in the middle of that space. That still may be too tall. I just want to come back here. It's hard to tell, and so I might just go ahead and get rid of that one. I'm going to take this point here at the top and press E to extrude, slide it over a little bit, and then I'm going to add a mirror like this. I'm going to turn on clipping, and I'll go ahead and I'll slide it in till it joins like that. Shift Control B, pull, and I am going up to 5, and I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm back here. I have to apply the mirror. I'll come in here, I will dissolve that vertex, and I will convert that to a curve, and once again just bring that depth up. Shade smooth. I'll put on Control 1. I think that maybe looks a little bit better. Alright, so what I need now is I need to move on and do some other stuff before I know what I'm doing, I think. Now, on the other hand, is this straight? It's pretty straight. Where do I want that piece? Let me just look at this and think. Let's go ahead and do that circle thing first. Okay, so let's bring the 3D cursor to there and bring in a cylinder, and I think I'm going back to 22. Doesn't matter whether it's filled or not. I'm just going to slide this over. I'm going to rotate X 90. Okay, so let's do this. Let's bring this in maybe a little closer. E and S, this is going to be real simple. Just bringing that in, and maybe E and F to make a face. Let's go ahead and bevel this. I just want 3. Okay, this piece I'm going to press F to make a face and Control B, and I'll do a bevel like that. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to shade smooth just to give you an idea of what's going on here. And this has got like a ring on it. Again, you can do it in texture, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do some of this in geometry. I'm just going to do it around the middle of the bar, because maybe I'll be attaching to that. I don't quite know yet. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to press E and Alt S and push. So we have another design element. Select those and bevel. It's pretty much always the same thing, or a lot of the same. Select those. We're going to bevel that without having them cross, just up like that. And and again, I could do this in texture, but I'm just going to split this with 2, and then E and Alt S and pull to create that indent. So I got stuff coming out, stuff going in. I want 3 in there, and probably for good measure I'll drag an edge loop this way and that way just to sharpen it up. So, you know, I don't know how noticeable it's going to be, but something. And I'm just wondering if my shading is up. I think that's better. I feel like I need something up here. I don't know. If I do this, does that improve it in any way? Even with that ring? I think it does, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. That gives me 2 things going out, so I'm not sure. But I think, and I'll take these edges here and bevel them. Just sharpens everything up. With subdivision, this is how it looks there, but I do want to also take this and just extrude it out a little bit and bevel it back like that and drag one edge loop there, just so there's just something else going on. Yeah, okay. So that's there. Let's just take that and mirror it to the other side and then think about what needs to be done. So, okay, so what happens here? So there, okay, so there's like a little white piece on the bar itself. So let's think about that. And how high up this is. Oh, it's a little, I can bring it down a little bit. So I can do that, which is going to be good, so that I can, you know what I might do is, let's see, if I take that P to break it out. And I just increase the size of this. Pull it up, and I do that kind of a thing. I could, let's take this thing, pull it down, pull that down to about the size there, and then this thing could go in. I can make that even a little narrower, and I might scale shift X. I'm sure you wouldn't see it. In fact, let's do this. Let's pull that out and have this scale in the X go into there. Does that make sense? If this thing's on the other side too? I don't know. It doesn't have to be out that far. It can be, you know, like that, just so there's a little touch of it there. Let's try that anyhow. Let's take this and put a resolution of 3 on it and convert it to a mesh, and then we'll close that. It's not quite centered because this curve is a bit like that, so I'm not sure about this. Let's see if I put that in the middle there. That's actually not bad. Select this face and this face and bevel with 3 and make sure, you know, that kind of thing. I don't like the position of this bar, so we're going to move it more central, and that kind of hits the middle of that. And so let's take this and mirror it over and see what we think of that. Makes me think I could make that a touch bigger. In fact, I might just do that. You know, a little bit different than the than the reference. The only thing is it's starting to hit, and it's all because of these guys. I could do this. I could take this stuff and say, you know what, no, I'm going to bring you back up. I experimented also with rotating that, and I don't think I like that. And if I bring these up like that, and then look from the side, and just maybe rotate them a bit and position them, I wonder if I can get something that I like. Yeah, that might be all right. How are we doing here? Yeah, okay, good. Let's not forget to save. Okay, I'm going to turn on the shadow. Okay, so let's now come in here and select this circle. Shift D, pull that down. P to break it out. Let's get rid of the subdivision. I'll leave the mirror on. Scale it down. Look from Control 1 and G, drag it over here to make some bolts that go on there. And let's extrude back, get rid of the back face. Recalculate outside if necessary. Select that face and bevel with 3. Push that on. We'll have a look at that and see. Okay, like I say, maybe I'll put a little something in there. I just feel like it's almost at the exact same height as this, and maybe it's okay. Maybe it's all right like that. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah. At this point, I'm going to switch over to Matte Cap and Object, and that's going to allow me to put some sort of colors, viewport display colors under here, under viewport display. And I just want to change a couple things just to see how it might look. I'm going to drop the alpha on this thing quite far down. There's no solidify on this. It's just one, poly thick, and I'm probably going to leave it that way. I just wanted to do that, and then we can experiment with different matte caps. This one in particular I really do like, just for visualization purposes. But if you want to see it, say really shiny and check check that out. This is how it's looking. Okay, so it could use some details maybe in Substance Painter. And then we have the back end to do, but I think I'll leave that, or I may go ahead and do that on my own. Just this kind of stuff, just a bunch of spheres really. Okay, so there's nothing special for that. And again, a lot of this stuff's going to be textures, and of course once we put on, you know, different colors on this thing, maybe it'll help it look kind of good. And I might put something on the end. I might change the end of this and have 3 kind of things sticking out. So I'm not sure. We're just kind of brainstorming, and you know, as we go along. But that's a good place, I think, to leave it at. Of course, you can choose this maybe and, you know, give it a slightly different color if you want to play around with that kind of thing. You know. But for now, we'll leave it at that. And when we come back, we'll do some more work on this. I can already see that maybe this bar is too long and all, but you know, it's trial and error, and I think it probably is okay, but maybe we want to do something down here. Maybe we thicken this piece out or have an attachment, you know, so it's not just like a bar going in there. So we'll think about some more of those details next time when we come back to this. So if you try this yourself, if that's what you like to do, then good luck. I hope it works out well for you, and otherwise hope you'll come back for the next video. Take care.